I'm Molly, and thank you so much for taking some time to hang out with and join me today. Today we are going to talk about discovering yarn stores in your area. I don't have a lot of yarn stores in my area, at least where I live in Berlin, Germany. I have one that is very close. It is, with my bike, I can probably get there in 10 minutes, I would say. 15 minutes? No, 10 minutes, definitely. And it's quite small. It is, it's 2 rooms, one main room and then a back room. And it's covered from floor to ceiling, very well organized, and they mostly just have a lot of German yarns. They mostly just have GGH, which is a yarn that is based in Hamburg, Germany. And they have some other ones. They have the classic Regia. They have a lot of Regia, actually, which I really love. I love Regia sock yarn, but and then they have some other ones, but it's nothing that I'm ever really loving. I like GGH yarn quite a bit, but it's not my favorite. Anyway, so that's my local yarn store. I shop there every once in a while. I would say I purchase from them maybe 5 times a year, I would say. That's maybe it. And each time I've purchased from them, I've maybe only purchased it within the last year 5 times. I've purchased sweater quantities. I have 2 sweater quantities for myself from them. I've purchased way more than 5 times. I have bought 3 sweater quantities for Elodie. I have another sweater quantity for a child that I've bought there. I've bought a lot from there, actually. I can think of a lot of things, but I don't want to bore you. I bought yarn for mittens, fingerless mittens, hats, lots of stuff. It's all coming back to me now. But the people there, there's one woman who works there who I'm always very excited when I go in and she's there, because she's usually crocheting, actually. And she's so friendly. She's so nice. She's, I would say, in her mid-30s. And she's quite trendy looking. She has part of her head shaved and the other part is really curly and really pretty. And she's always dressed kind of bohemian, and she's really relaxed. And even when I come in with Elodie, she's kind of paying attention to Elodie and asking her questions and just trying to get me to look around and just let me relax while having Elodie still in eyes view, but she's still, kind of interested in Elodie as well, which I think is nice. And I think that's so important. I think I've been to a lot of yarn stores in America, because my grandma and I used to make day trips. Often we would make day trips, and I would go online and look for different yarn stores, maybe ones we had never been to, and then we would make a trip out of it. We would go and find a cafe near the shop, because my grandma and I, when I lived in America, would often go and visit cafes and hang out in cafes and just spend time together that way. So we would make a day of it, and we would look on the map and see how we get there and hang out in a cafe. Maybe the yarn shop had a cafe, even better, and look around. It was so much fun. It was so much fun finding new yarn stores, new fiber stores, and just getting to know the people working in them and the community around them, and spending time with my grandma, for goodness sake. That was the best part of it. It's fun to go to a yarn shop by yourself, but when you go with someone who's really interested, it's so fun. I think about these times that we have been. I can think of this one yarn shop that we went to. I've talked about this before. It's Susan's Fiber Shop. I think it's in Verona, Wisconsin. Don't quote me on that. And it's this huge barn, and it's not even that well organized. You just walk through it, and there are little sections, but it's kind of messy. But she has so many different treasures. And I remember my grandma and we walked into this first room, and there were little aisles of more of the you know, the classical yarn that you know of. At this time, it was a very long time ago, Cherry Tree Hill was so popular. And there was loads of Cherry Tree Hill, which I loved and I still love, and I'm almost positive that they're no longer making yarn. And I love, this was the first yarn that I ever fell in love with, was Cherry Tree Hill. I remember I worked for a knit shop called Off the Beaten Path in Monona, Wisconsin, which no longer exists. And we stocked a lot of Cherry Tree Hill. We had a whole wall that was full of Cherry Tree Hill. And I made a sweater out of one of their yarns. It's all hand dyed. This was the first experience that I ever had with hand dyed yarn, hand painted yarn. And I was just so fascinated by it. But because when I had started working in this yarn store, I had mostly just, gosh, I don't even know how old I was. I was maybe 15. I was driving by then. I must have been 16. I had been knitting for a while. I hadn't been really, really into the knitting scene, if you want to call it, but I had been knitting for a while. And I had mostly just known of cascades and just this sort of big manufactured yarn I knew all about. But then when I worked in this yarn shop, it opened up these crazy eyes for me of all of these new and exciting and adventurous yarns. People knit with bamboo. People knit with corn, the corn stalk. I remember when we got this or corn wheat, when we got this yarn in that had corn wheat in it, I just thought it was so fantastic. And bamboo and hemp. It was so much fun because I worked for the yarn store and I always got to knit up samples for them, which meant that I got to pick whatever yarn I wanted, really, with the yarn shop owner's guidance, because usually you knit a sample out of yarn that she wants to sell or a new yarn, but usually I could pick the colorway or anything I wanted, and it was so much fun. I remember the first time I knit with bamboo. I knit a tie. How random is that? Why I chose a tie, I have no idea. I have it here. It would be fun if I could show you at this moment, but I don't have it at my side. And anyway, back to the experience of discovering yarn stores in your area. It's just fun. When you have a weekend, look online, make some arrangements with a friend. If you don't know anyone who knits, hopefully you maybe make a connection with someone in the yarn store. Don't be afraid to make conversation. And sometimes maybe you'll find a yarn store where the people who work there just aren't really all that nice. I've experienced this quite a few times. They act like, I feel like this is such a hard topic with yarn stores, because there are those yarn stores who you go in and because they've never seen you before and they don't know if you're going to buy anything, they're just kind of like you're an unimportant person. They're not willing to help you. They're not willing to talk to you. They're not even going to say hello to you. And that's always hard. And usually in that sort of a circumstance, even if I find a yarn that's just killer and I need it and I want it, I won't buy from the yarn. I haven't bought from the yarn shop. But sometimes it's just a difficult situation where maybe you only have that yarn shop in your area and the people there maybe aren't so nice, but you want to buy yarn anyway. It's always quite difficult, but it is fun when you have the opportunity and have a lot of yarn stores around you to go and make a trip of it. Like I said, I have so many good memories of. I can think of another yarn store that my grandma and I went into that had a cafe. There's a cafe in Madison, Wisconsin, that has a big river on it, and you can sit outside and you're overlooking the river, and it's gorgeous. They have a huge cafe in there, like I said. And when my grandma and I have gone there, we've usually gotten the cheese platter, not splatter, while we're sitting and knitting, because we are always bringing our knitting. And often when my grandma and I had made these plans of going to yarn shops and looking around, we never went there with the intention of buying or with the intention of yeah, purchasing any yarn. It was always about going and experiencing the yarn together and experiencing the shop together and the people and mostly each other's company. So we would always bring some sort of project, and that's mostly it. Just go and enjoy a tasty drink at the cafe and knit and talk and hang out and touch yarn and feel yarn, and I don't know, it's just so much fun. Maybe you, while visiting these yarn shops, you find out about maybe specific different nights that they have. Maybe they have nights, because the yarn shop that I worked at, we had a night every Thursday. People just came and knit on socks. So maybe you can get into your yarn scene and start finding new friends. For those of you who maybe are knitting, you know there are yarn shops around, but you don't really have any knitting friends, and just go to your yarn shop. Just go to your yarn shop and see what's going on. And if your yarn shop isn't hosting anything, if they don't have any knit nights, if they don't have any sock nights, if they don't have any nights, say you would love to do, and you would totally be up for putting it together and just putting up a sign and saying, hey, who wants to come, comes, and go and see if people are interested. If they're not, they're not, but at least you tried, and maybe you make some awesome new knitting friends on the way. If you don't have any yarn shop near you, I hope that this community is somewhat helpful. I know that a couple of people have said that they don't have a yarn shop near them, anywhere near them, which is a total shame, because for me, a yarn shop is quite a community-based thing, and it's nice to have people who you can knit with, and people who you can, or crochet with, or whatever handcraft you do, that you can do those things with, because I think it's important when you are a person who's working on handwork to work and spend time with people who do that as well, because it's a big thing that you can connect upon, because it's something that I really enjoy. It's something that I'm looking for as well, more people who are into knitting and crocheting and sewing and so on and so forth. So what I've been working on lately is a lot of stuff. It's so exciting, you guys. I feel like I just love weeks that I'm so productive in my knitting and in my handwork and in creating, mostly. I love weeks like that. It's so nice to have the end of the week come, especially when you've had a stressful week. Maybe that's why I've been knitting so much. This week has been crazy, and I talk about that later if I even remember. But very, very insane at work. The children have just been crazy, and my colleague is sick, so it's been a little bit rough. I got hit on my bike by a car, by the way, which was very, very scary. So what am I working on? I have cast on, you guys, I have a new project bag for my Bird of Happiness. It fits perfect. It is these adorable cuckoo clocks with the birds, of course. Birds all over here. But isn't it sweet? I adore it. I love it. This is a one of a kind. I do not have, I have one more. I have one more of these bags. When I purchased some fabric quite a while ago, I got this as a sample because I purchased so much fabric. So she sent me, I think she sent me half of a, no, not half of a yard. She must have sent me a quarter of a yard. So, a fat quarter. And this is where I decided to put my Bird of Happiness. I had it in that funny animal, like snake drawstring bag, but I wanted a new one. So I made myself one. And I am making a very, very special Bird of Happiness. This is my most special one yet, if you can say that. So, here it is. I haven't finished it yet, and that is for a purpose. I could have finished it if I wanted, but I didn't. I just have 2 more rows. So here it is. I don't know if you guys recognize this yarn, but it is a very special yarn, which was sent to me by Rebecca. So she sent this with 2 other yarns for my Cozy Memories blanket. And I knit a square into my Cozy Memories blanket, which I'll show you in just a bit. But I was touched by Rebecca's story. I I thought that this yarn needed to be sent back to her. I'll explain why. So I've already used it in my Cozy Memories blanket, but then I thought the Bird of Happiness is such a fun, happy, special pattern to knit. It reminds me of my grandma. When I'm knitting it, I think of her because it's something that I know she thinks the pattern is just adorable, and it just reminds me of her. Birds remind me of her, like I've talked about. Birds and pine trees. That's always my Grandma Sue. And so anyway, I wanted to knit this bird for Rebecca and send it to her. Something else that makes this bird even more special is I had one afternoon, I don't know why I did this, I think because we were watching soccer or something, Robert and I wanted to work on something, but I wanted to watch the game, and I didn't really want to have something that I had to concentrate at all on. And I weaved in all the ends of my Cozy Memories blanket. All the ends. I think I have 64 squares on there now. I'm pretty sure it's 8 by 8. All the ends. So that's 128 ends. Insane, right? Yeah, so I weaved in all of the ends, and I threw most of them away, but I saved some of them. So here they are. And all of this yarn is very special because all of it contains some sort of story. And I want to use this yarn to stuff Rebecca's Bird of Happiness so that she has all of these fun and special memories in her birds. So there's yarn from me. There's yarn from you guys. It's just all so, so special. And I kind of wanted to do this with you guys and make it an experience that we're all doing together. I know that you guys aren't here and you aren't reaching your hands in and stuffing this bird for Rebecca and for her baby, which I'm guessing will be born in a month now, because she sent me that about a month ago, and she said that her little sweet baby would be born in 2 months. So I'm hoping that Rebecca will hang this next to her baby's crib or on the wall, and that it can just be something special for her little baby. So here is her bird stuffed with all the little ends of my Bird of Happiness, of my Cozy Memories blanket. So Rebecca, I'm so excited to send this with you, to share this special piece with you. I'm happy that you shared it with me as well, and this will be on its way to you. And it was so much fun, so much pleasure to knit. I got a lot of happiness out of knitting this because I just thought of Rebecca and her sweet baby that's going to be born soon, and how excited she must be. So it was a pleasure, it was a thrill to knit on it, and so there's this one. Love it. It's nice knitting it out of this fun variegated yarn, which Rebecca hand dyed herself. So there that is. This would be finished this evening. We're visiting a friend this evening to watch soccer because it's the World Cup right now and everyone is obsessed with soccer. So she's cooking a delicious dinner for us. I'm super excited to see what it is. Tina, it's Elodie's best friend's mom. They live really close, about a 3-minute walk, and I love her as well, Tina. She's so nice. She crochets, which is really cool, really neat, and it's fun getting to know her. So yes, Robert and I will go over there and we'll have dinner and watch the first soccer game of the evening. So the next thing that I'm working on is, I'll show you guys my Cozy Memories blanket. I have this one as well in a new bag. I have a lot of new bags that I've been working on for the handcraft along. So here's this super fun one. I love it. I made 2 of these and a smaller one, which you'll see in a little bit. Oops. And here's my Cozy Memories blanket. Oh, I don't know why there's a Bird of Happiness in there, but there is. one that you've already seen. All right. I totally wanted to show you this. So I got a new bar of sock soap. I call it woolen wash, but online it's stated as sock soap from Tuft Woolens. This is the Juicy Orange and Ginger. I don't even think she has it listed on her website, but I'm sure you can request it. She has a coupon code, Molly10. You can get 10% off in her shop. Go do it, because I think it's almost running out. Maybe it's already run out. But you can try it anyway, right? You can't lose anything. I love this one. I also have a bath bar, which I haven't used yet, but we all know I love the sock soap. Okay. So here is my Cozy Memories blanket in all its glory. You guys have no idea how amazing it is to have the ends woven in. You have no idea. It's like a joke, almost. I almost don't even believe it's real life. Okay, so here it is. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes. Okay. So I am trying to figure out what all I put in. Okay. I'm completely caught up on all of my Cozy Memories mini skeins that you guys have sent until now, because I received a package which I will show in just a minute. Okay, so this line right here, I think I put more than 8 squares on, but anyway, this is what I remember. So these 3 are Rebecca's. This one, or no, not this one, but this one, and this one. I absolutely love this yarn. I'm really curious what it is. And this one, Martha from Tuft Woolen sent me of her hand spun that she knit her socks in our sock along. It's really gorgeous. I love it. Then I knit this one, this one, this one, and this one. So much fun. So cool. And then here's the back side for all of you who don't believe me. All of the ends woven in. Amazing. I saw, oh goodness, I'm not sure what her name is. I feel terrible. I'm pretty sure her name is Little Bobbins on Instagram. She has 2 Cozy Memories blankets going. Isn't that crazy? 2 Cozy Memories blankets going. She has one that's a smaller one. And then I guess she decided to make one that's larger with larger squares, which totally intrigues me. And the crazy thing is when I saw this on Instagram, maybe 5 minutes before I recorded, I honestly contemplated it. I honestly thought, should I do that? And then I thought, Molly, seriously, be real. You have a really long project ahead of you. And no. Wait until you're finished with this one. If you want to do a bigger one, then do it. But, you know, here I was thinking, this is going to take years. This is going to take 10 years or something. But I don't think it will take that long. I really don't, because I don't want this to be massive. I think I want it to be this times 6. That's what I'm thinking. So 6 of these, I think. Or maybe 9. I don't know. At the moment, I'm thinking 6. I would like it, but that almost seems too small. Maybe 12, 3, 6, 9, 12. Maybe that's a nice number. Maybe 4 by 3 of these squares. That might be nice. That might be nice. And this hasn't taken me that long now that you guys have been so awesome and have been sending me your little memory squares. It's just been so much fun. I don't know how much I can talk about this, but I feel like every week there's something to say about it because it's just fun talking about it. And I have these. This is one of the stitch markers that I'm using for my Cozy Memories blanket, and this is from the Caffeinated Sheep on Etsy. Isn't that the cutest thing with the little yarn ball? I have 2 other ones that come in this package. I should have brought them. I'll share them with you next week. But they're so much fun. And I like to use a more jewelry type stitch marker when I'm knitting my Cozy Memories blanket, because I just use one in the middle, you know, at the center stitch is where I'm using it. And it doesn't bother me at all. I had said before that I don't really like or even enjoy knitting with any jewelry type stitch marker, but something about this stitch marker has kind of changed it for me. It's really easy to knit with, really easy to work around. I don't know why. Maybe it's just that something clicked and I started using them correctly. I have no idea. But before, I was always forgetting to flip the stitch marker to the correct side of the needle, and then I was getting it stuck in my yarn. In my knitting, basically. It would get in the needle, and then I would have to pull it out and up through the knitting loop, which was super obnoxious. Yeah, so I'm thinking about now starting to deck out my knitting needles while I'm knitting and have some fun stitch markers. I love using the Such Wonderful Stuff one. Those are the ones that I'm always using. But I'm thinking about switching it up a bit, using Such Wonderful Stuff one on some things, and then using some more decorative stitch markers on my knitting. So this is the one, like I said, that I'm currently using on my Cozy Memories blanket. And I'm super enjoying it. I love looking at this one. It's very, very sweet. Here is the package that I got on my Cozy Memories blanket. So let's get this open. This is coming from Canada to Germany. Oops. Okay. So here is the super cute card. It says, there is no way to happiness. Happiness is the way. And then it says it in German. Es gibt keinen Weg zum Glück. Glücklich sein ist der Weg. Buddha said that. Super sweet. And this is from Joanna! How awesome. We've just been emailing back and forth, actually, so it's funny that I've gotten this now. Okay, so I think the way that Joanna, it's so funny to see the different ways, and I'm usually not really sharing the different ways that people have sent me their balls or skeins or whatever to their mini skeins. But I love the way that Joanna did it. It kind of reminds me of little like cupcakes. So she sent me 9 skeins. Here they are. Hopefully it focuses in on them because they're so pretty. They're so pretty. I love them. And the first one immediately, this is funny, that caught my eye was this one, number 2. I saw it and I thought, I love it. I love it already. And then I opened up this. It's a little, so first, okay. So she has all of these in here. She has them wrapped in these little sweet ribbons. And then she has a number on every one of them. So they're labeled 1 through 9. And I saw this one too, and I look at it immediately. It says Cakewalk Yarns Footsie. And that is so funny because when I first started podcasting, when did I first start podcasting? I think in September or October of last year. I had found out about Cakewalk Yarns, and it's no longer in business. I had looked and looked and looked, and nobody wants to give up their Cakewalk yarn, so you can't even really find it in any stash for a trade or sell. And it's a yarn that I love, and I even wrote the woman who's dyeing up the yarn, and she's never responded to me. But I love her yarn, and it's sad that she's no longer dyeing because she dyes gorgeous, really unique yarns. So it's a pity that she is no longer dyeing anymore. But she sent me eight things of yarn, not 9, sorry. And a lot of these yarns are cashmere blends, which is fantastic and fun. I don't have a lot of cashmere blends in my blanket. I have merino, silk. I think that's mostly it. Obviously there's some nylon in there because a lot of it is sock yarn, but alpaca I have. I have some cashmere, but a lot of these skeins are. And a lot of these things were knit for, this one's really sweet, the one. She used this yarn to knit a really sweet little baby sweater for her new granddaughter. Yay, congratulations, who is due to be born any day now. There are lots of boys in my family, so it's a real thrill to be knitting something for a little girl. It's a really nice color. I love pink and gray mixed together, and this is such a subtle, pretty pink and gray. And I want to share these balls with you because they're really pretty. So first, she sent me the one that I just showed you. And that's Hedgehog Fiber Sock in the color Whisper. I won't tell all the stories with these. This one, like I already said, is Cakewalk Yarn Footsie in the color Brooklyn. She knit Cookie's sock pattern with it. This one here is Becoming Art, Agave Fingering in Harvest Moon. Really pretty. That one has some cashmere in it. This was from a pair of socks she knit herself, but she ended up having to give them to her husband, which is good because she wrote that he loves, in capital letters, socks. This one is Skein Merino Cashmere Fingering Weight in Electric. It's one of her favorite yarns, she says. Skein from Australia. She owns a lot of it. This one right here is more skein. This time skein top drawer in sea glass. Really pretty color. You have a really fantastic taste in yarns, by the way. I really adore the color of all of these. This one is Goth Sock Laudanum in the color I Love You Cupcake. This one is Fiber, Hedgehog Fiber Sock in Zest. She made these for her little sister because she loves bright green and she's the most knit-worthy person she knows. So that's cute. And then this one's really cool. This one is last but not least Opal Van Gogh in the colorway named after his painting. She said she loves all of the colorways in Opal, and it's not the softest, but it's sturdy, and her husband has quite a few vanilla socks out of this yarn, and this one is one of his favorites. It's really pretty. I've never ever knit with Opal, but I always think as well that it's that they always put out really pretty colorways, and I'm super intrigued by what they're putting out, so those will be really fun to knit with. And then she sent along, so sweet, because I mentioned in one podcast about my hands that they've been so dry lately. And so she sent along this Herbicin Chamomile hand cream. Oh, why am I showing you the hand cream? And she said that she usually puts one of these in each of her knitting bags. It's her favorite hand cream. I love it. It smells fantastic. It's kind of cinnamony. I know it's chamomile, but there's something inside of it that just smells fantastic. So I'm gonna put some on my hands right now. I'm excited to dig into that bag and add 9 new squares to my blanket. It's so much fun. For those of you joining us, the Cozy Memories blanket is a blanket that I started initially with wanting to just put together special memories from all of my different yarn projects and have it be an heirloom piece that I pass down to Elodie and she passes down to her children, just full of special memories and special yarn. And then I asked you if you guys wanted to send some yarn to add to my Cozy Memories blanket, because all of you listeners are also a part of this journey, and I want you to be a part of my blanket if you want to. So if you have any yet leftover yarn, any yarn that that you love, maybe you haven't even knit with it yet, but you just love it and you want to send a little ball or a little mini skein my way to add to my Cozy Memories blanket so that you're a part of this journey, I would love it. Just PM me and I can send you my P.O. box. So that is so much fun. I'm so happy that you sent that to me, Joanna. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I am very excited to add those squares to my blanket. The next thing that you guys saw 2 weeks ago that I hadn't worked on until this past week, you guys can see I've done so much knitting. Isn't it awesome? Is my Fleur Blue cardigan for Elodie. I can show you the picture again. So here is the front. Super sweet. Here's the back, which is totally what caught my eye. I love how it gathers at the bottom. And yes. Okay. So I'm almost at that part. I am almost to the part where it is gathering at the bottom, right here. I've gotten quite a bit done. I've never ever knit a cardigan on fingering weight yarn. I already have the sleeves, the cape of the sleeve, the cap of the sleeve finished, and I have it on my scrap yarn. I used to always use stitch holders for my sleeves, but I found that they stretched the stitches way too much. So now I've just kind of reverted back to using scrap yarn, which is totally fine. What do you guys use? What do you use for your sleeve holders? Do you use I had clover once. I had a pair of orange and light blue. I still have them, but I'm trying to use scrap yarn this time. So I'm knitting the 4-year-old, even though Elodie is 2, but she's very tall like her father, my husband. And yeah, so I'm having a lot of fun with this. It's so much fun knitting on fingering weight yarn. So delicate looking, just really enjoyable. And I'm loving this pattern. I'm knitting it with Artist Palette Yarns, the Smoothie Sock base, and Verdigris colorway. So here it is. It's quite broken into. This always happens. They seriously, my cakes turn into a proper cupcake. I always end up getting this bottom, and then it has this place where it all just kind of vomits out of. But it's really nice. I like the fabric that it's knitting up into so much, and I'm enjoying it. I have the lace on the front. I'm into the lace, the front panel now, which I definitely wasn't into before. I've done quite a bit this week on this, but I've had a lot of fun working on it as well. I know there is a lace panel in the back as well as the front, but because for me it's so memorizable, for me it's so memorizable that it is enjoyable. I enjoy working on it. It's relaxing enough, and I like working on the finer things. The needles are a little bit larger. It's a 3.5 millimeter, which is still small, but for me, when I'm working on the 1 millimeter and the 2.5 millimeter for my socks, these feel obviously a little bit bigger. But it's fun. I like it. So I'm thinking I'm going to use up all 425 yards, or meters, I'm sorry, for this cardigan. I hope that I don't need any more. I don't even know what I will do if I run out. Obviously buy more, but I don't think, I hope that does not happen. I don't think it will. But I think in the size that I'm knitting, the pattern calls for 430 meters or something. So usually they ask for a little bit more than you're knitting, than you need. So I hope that's what they did in this case. What else am I working on? I have worked a little bit on my grandpa's warm feet socks. I have the first one finished, but I finished this quite a while ago, a couple weeks ago. So here's the first one. Ends, of course, still need to be woven in. And last time I think I had done 4 or 5 rows of the cuff. So I finished the cuff here, and I've done a couple of rows of the stockinette, probably 4 or 5. So I've done a little bit of that. I knit on this today. I did most of this today on my way to and from work, because yesterday is when I got hit by a transporter, actually. So like a vehicle that people are using for moving. It was quite big. I didn't want to ride my bike today. I was a little bit too shaken still, and I just thought I needed a day to just take the Straßenbahn, the tram, and relax. I didn't feel ready to get on my bike, obviously, after I got hit by a car or a big moving vehicle. So, yeah. I knit on this, on the tram, the way from and back. And I, at first, kind of had a hard time getting out my knitting. I haven't knit in public in a really long time, actually. Well, I knit at the park, but as far as like being on public transportation, I hadn't. And I feel really, really bad admitting it, but I was a teeny bit embarrassed. I think that sounds ridiculous when I say it out loud. Like, why would you even be embarrassed? That's not really who I am, you know, this person who's really caring so much about those silly things. It was for a very quick time, but it was enough that I thought, Molly, seriously, get over yourself. Take out your knitting, work on it. As soon as I did, I didn't care. When I got off the tram and switched, I walked and knit. When I waited, I stood and knit on my sock. As soon as I got in the next tram, I sat down and knit. I didn't care. And people looked, and I was then felt, you know, kind of good that they were kind of, you know, interested in seeing that someone was working on handwork, and maybe their mind was thinking, what is she knitting? What is she doing, if they didn't even know that I was knitting? No one asked anything, which I know happens sometimes. People just observed, I guess. And that was okay. I didn't care. I have some Eos lip balm, which I'm going to put on because I love it. My favorite one is the mint one. You can only get it in America. You can't get it here. I want some mint Eos. It's my favorite. Okay. So, the next thing, which you guys haven't seen, is also in a new project bag. A really cool one of my personal favorites. This one. It is so adorable. I love the houses with the polka dots, and then this coral salmon zipper. I love it. So, what is inside of here, you ask? This is a pattern that it'll be the 5th time that I've knit this pattern. I've knit this pattern 1, 2, 3 times for Elodie. I knit it as a gift. Well, okay, it actually wasn't a gift. Someone bought it from me after I made it. They requested that I make it, and then they bought it from me. And now I'm knitting it as a gift for someone. Tina, for Emma, for her birthday, which is in the middle of next month. So here it is. Tina actually picked out this yarn. She never saw it, but I sent her a picture of it on WhatsApp. So here it is. It's this really pretty sky blue color. It's from GGH. It's a really nice, soft yarn. It'll wash great for children. That's why I picked it, because it's perfect for a child. Elodie is the one that I have for her. It's a brown one. I don't have it near me. Hers is knit out of the same exact yarn, and it washes amazingly. I can just throw it in the wash and it's good. It's nothing that I want to stretch out, but it's the size that I'm knitting for Emma is the same exact size that Elodie has. Emma is a little bit smaller than Elodie is, and I think it will be perfect because I knit Elodie's last year, and it was kind of like a tunic on her, just kind of like a little dress. She could wear it with with tights, and it was longer, and then I just cuffed the sleeve so that it wasn't so long. And that's what I want to do with Emma's. I want it to be a piece that is maybe a little bit longer. She can wear it with tight leggings or tights, and then maybe leg warmers with it. But I don't want to knit her a piece that just fits this fall and winter. I want it to be a piece that grows with her while still looking nice. I don't want it to be hugely oversized. I don't want her to drown in it. But I want her to fit in it for a while. I mean, if I'm spending time knitting something for a child, I don't want it to be a piece that is just lasting for months, you know, when you're spending a bit of time. So I have 4 weeks to finish this. Definitely doable. I know this pattern like the back of my hand for the most part. I haven't knit it since I knit Elodie's last Christmas, but or it wasn't even last Christmas, it was last early fall. And let's see if I can grab out a big picture. Here one is. It's not in color, I apologize, but I printed this a long time ago. It's by Kate Davies. So this is the picture. It's just a really nice, simple cardigan for a baby, I think. And the size is really ranged, which is awesome. It ranges from newborn to, oh goodness, I wish I knew this off the top of my head. From newborn to 10 years old. 10 years old. So if you have this pattern, you can use it forever, which is awesome. I have all of this in my little bag. So for those of you who look at these little bags and you wonder what can fit in there, I'm going to fit this pattern that's in here and the sweater. I think it will fit in there until it's finished. So I have 4 skeins of this yarn, and I think that will be enough for the sweater. So I'm enjoying it. I cast it on Monday. Monday was Robert and my wedding anniversary, by the way. We had a really, really nice day. We went to a cafe and just spent some time there together. And then we grilled in the evening, and it was really nice and sunny. We spent some good time out on the balcony, and Germany played the World Cup, so we watched some soccer, and it was just a really fantastic day. It's been a pretty fantastic week, other than my stressful week at work and getting hit by a bike, or by a transporter, but yes. So we, of course, have our handcraft along, which is going on this month and next month, which has been a lot of fun to do together. I didn't work on my cross stitch at all this week because I was really into knitting, and I sewed quite a bit of project bags. Father's Day was here as well. One of the things that I made Robert was this, just a little pouch. He hooks it onto the inside of his bag, and then it kind of stays at the top. And on the front it says, Elodie loves Poppy, because that's what she calls him, Poppy. And Elodie picked out everything for this. So she picked out this bottom linen fabric, this top fabric. She picked out the yellow stitching, the blue zipper, and then this is really funny and sweet. And then she picked out this dinosaur fabric. I have a bag in this dinosaur fabric, actually. I don't think I have it here because it's not a newer one. I do. I have it with me. This is the bag that I have in the dinosaur fabric. I had two, but I already sold the first one. So that's it. It's super sweet. He loves it. And then for Father's Day, so I got him this. Well, Elodie and I did. And then we got him, because I was so inspired by the Bakery Paris podcast by Dan. He loves Legos. And I'm always telling Robert that he needs like a new hobby. He needs another hobby, because I think it would be so nice in the evenings when we're sitting here together and I'm knitting and we're talking, that he could maybe sit at the table, our coffee table in the living room, and maybe build some Legos. I kind of have this fantasy in my mind that just sounds really nice. So I bought him a Lego set. I saw that Dan does these really kind of more complicated ones with his daughter. So I thought, maybe that's a good idea for a first Lego set. To have it be one that takes a couple of hours for Robert to do, but that Elodie can enjoy it afterwards, just so that it's not some crazy spaceship or some crazy, Star Wars thing that Elodie doesn't even know what to do with or just breaks immediately. So he did, and he when he saw it, he was super shocked. Not in a bad way, but he was just kind of like, what? That is kind of weird. I'm making it sound terrible, but it wasn't. He ended up building it that afternoon, and he had fun. He really had fun building it. He says he doesn't know for sure if he would want... He totally could see himself doing more Legos, but he wouldn't ask for it as a gift. I think I'll get him a man Lego set just to kind of see what he thinks. One that takes a couple of hours. Dan, I would love to know what your suggestion is. One that you've loved to build. I'm really interested in that. So anyway, enough Lego talk. He got that, and then he got this. And sweet Father's Day gifts. I didn't make him anything for our wedding anniversary. I bought him some things. So the rest of the things that I made, of course, is this bag. I made this bag. This one. I made 2 of each of these. So I made this one. I love this one with the jump rope and hopscotch. I made, of course, the classic Tea Time one. One of my best sellers. This adorable one with the horses on it. Mother Bee. I think these are so perfect for summertime. There's a little mushroom one. And this is it. This is the final one. So I've just made 2 large bags. I've made this larger one and the larger mushroom one. And I'm not listing anything on Etsy until August. Or I won't list anything on Etsy again, I'm quite sure. I think I'm going to start selling through someone else. But that's still a big decision that I have to make. And it will definitely be August, September that I will really start 100% frequently doing updates and being very involved in my shop and selling other things rather than project bags. And I would like to have a more variety of project bags. I want to have drawstring, notion pouches. I would like to have wheel bags that you can, fiber bags that you can hang from your wheel for putting your fiber inside of. Just lots of fun ideas. I've come up with a lot of different ideas of things that I would like to put in there. That will be a surprise, and I will talk a little bit more about as soon as those things are ready. So if you see any of these that you want at the moment, just send me a PM on Ravelry and say, hey, I saw that mushroom bag, the large one, or hey, I saw that the teacup bag, the medium-sized one. I would love it. Each of my bags, the medium-sized one are 25 plus €3, so 28 for the shipping and handling worldwide. So this size right here is €25 plus €3 shipping and handling. This bigger size is 32 plus €3 shipping and handling, just if you're interested. If not, don't worry about it. I've been having a lot of fun with that. I already have I think I have 12 more bags that already are interfaced, zippered. They just need labels and to be finished sewing, obviously, to be cut and finished sewing. But I'm having fun with those. I'm having fun updating the shop now. I've gotten out my sewing machine, had fun with it. I've had, like I mentioned in the last podcast, some of you have been quilting and I've been really wanting to get quilting, but I don't know. I've been See, this is so funny now. This is such a contradiction because I've been knitting a lot, but now I feel like I haven't had a lot of time for other handcrafts. I think I just like need some way that I can become a millionaire and just work on handcrafts all my life because it's what I'm so passionate about. But that's for a totally another topic. We have to go and have dinner. I'm so excited about it. I didn't have lunch today, so I'm really hungry, and I'm excited to have a super delicious dinner at Tina and Mishi's house this evening. Watch some fun football, drink some Hugo, which I love. I absolutely love Hugo. It's so delicious. And my hands are really soft, Joanna. From your lotion that you gave me in your little box. They smell delicious. So, on another note, hey! On another note, I'm wearing one of my bracelets from my grandma. I wonder if you can pick it up. It's a shiny one. I wear these most days. The funny thing is, she had sent with my parents 2 bracelets for Elodie and 1 for me, myself. The bracelets for Elodie are the ones that fit me. She thinks they're very small, but it fits perfect. So here it is. But it fits me perfect. The one that you made for me is too big. So you have to think of Elodie next time when you make them for me, because I even have some space in it. I love it. They're so fun. I've had compliments on them at work. People have asked me if I made them. Yeah. I'm wearing a little piece of my grandma with me today. And it's fun. So you guys, enjoy your week. Enjoy continuing working on the handcraft along. And enjoy knitting. I will see you all next week. Until then.